Good morning and welcome to Monday Momentum, Make Some Money, Honey, with Julia Flynn Werre and Sarah Coolidge. Good morning to Linda Kay, who is joining us from New Hampshire. I'm actually in Baltimore, Maryland on the East Coast, and right now it's about 10 in the morning. Sarah Coolidge is on the West Coast today, and so it's about 7 a.m. her time, much earlier for her than for me. And we have viewers from all over the country joining us today. Every single week, Sarah and I get together and we talk about ways that we can make money faster and make more money, whether it's from sales or from productivity increases, a variety of different ways that we can actually expand our horizons and our income by owning our own businesses. One of the things that we learned as we became friends and started talking, and especially with Linda too, is that as a solo entrepreneur, sometimes you can feel like you're out in the wilderness, out on your own, somewhere out there, and that you have no idea how to really get yourself motivated and moving forward. And Mondays can be the most challenging day for many solo entrepreneurs. So we decided to do this quick 30-minute Monday Momentum, and my tagline is Make Some Money, Honey, to talk to people about how we can stay moving forward. A little bit of business I'd like to share with you also is to let you know that we actually do offer a weekly subscription class for members only, where we get into a lot more depth and detail about specific products or services that are available on the market to help you accelerate your income. Just a little bit of background about me. I started my business nearly 12 years ago. And I started it because there was a need with my client base, and my client base at the time was mostly physicians and dentists, and they had a challenge as far as how to increase their patient base. Now, 11 years ago, the economy was vastly different, but the concepts were identical 11 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years, and 50 years ago as to how we could bring in new clients, new patients, without a retail environment. So in a retail environment, you might have the opportunity of being able to do storefront window items or lots and lots of radio or TV ads and things like that. But when it came to doing marketing and business growth for a professional services organization business, things were vastly different because you couldn't be as retail and in your face. You wanted to be more dignified. You wanted to present yourself with a level of decorum that was really elevating you and making you look more professional and higher end. So with that challenge, I developed a system that to this day I teach. I teach all over the country. I teach one-on-one or in groups, and I call it Meet and Greet. And nothing about Meet and Greet is really all of that difficult, and nothing about the Meet and Greet program is really all of that hard, except for one thing. It requires consistency, and it requires you to really have a game plan and a focus. So staying in momentum and staying in the process and the flow of next step sales, which is what I like to talk about, next step sales, is what the Meet and Greet program is all about. To this day, there are physicians and dentists who have their office managers running this program. There are salespeople all over the country who do this. A lot of real estate agents, title companies really enjoy doing this program. And I'm going to share with you some of the marketing tools and some of the information. This won't go heavy in depth into what I do when I'm doing the program, but I'll just give you an overview. And if you want to know more information, that's how we can do a one-on-one class, or how you might want to join in with our subscription service and our weekly service. First thing I want to show you is really pretty straightforward, and that is the cycle of the Meet and Greet program that I like to show. And this is a little blurry, so I'm going to open this up and do I'm going to remove some of this background stuff so that we can really see what it is that I want you to see here. I'm not going to do a screen share, and I'm going to get rid of the background effects. Okay, See if that'll help a little bit. Nope, not so much. So I'll just talk you through it. The first part of the cycle of helping people to do the meet and greet program is just to first understand that marketing and sales is a series of next steps and layers. So everything we do needs to have a decided goal, what we want to achieve, how we can measure that goal, and when we know we are really satisfied with that action, and how do we move to the next step. That was the whole concept of meet and greet. Buckles down to this. We do a meet, a mail, an email, and a phone call to all of our prospects, and we do it in a series that's anywhere from 3 days to 2 weeks apart, and we do it a minimum of 3 times. Okay, the first thing we're going to start with, though, before we can even get to that, is what is your target audience? Who is your demographic? Who are you trying to reach? So the first thing I like to start with is, what is your product or service? Are you selling to businesses or are you selling to consumers? That's the first place to start. If you're selling to businesses, what kind of businesses are you selling to? That's the very important goal to achieve, is to figure out who your target is. Once you know that, then you can actually start moving toward that. I'm going to stick with computer services and dentists, and I'm going to go back and forth between these two quite often, because those are the things I know the best, because I'm a computer services person and dentists are who I've been marketing for. When a dentist is a dental specialist, they do things like oral surgery or endodontics, which is root canals. They don't market their business to the general population. They market their practice to other general dentists. The general dentist will market to you as a consumer, but the specialist is going to market directly to other dentists. So that's really important for them to know, that when you're doing business-to-business marketing, that's vastly different than consumer marketing. So let's talk about that a little bit. When most salespeople want to approach, how do I market my business to other businesses, you have to think about all of the variety of ways that you can get to those other businesses. Now, we know about networking, so I'm not going to talk about that today. That's something we'll talk about at another time. We'll have a different guest talk about that. And Linda Kay, she came on and she talked to us about send out cards, which is a fantastic tool. We're going to come back to that tool with this program as well. But what I really want to talk about at this moment is exactly how, with the meet and greet program, we're looking for all of the business owners that you want to reach in a particular area. Okay, here's the example. Dental practice does endodontics. They do root canals. They want to market their practice to all of the general dentists that are in their area who would refer to them. Or, let's take a look at computer services. I sell websites. I could focus on trying to sell to every single business owner, but it probably makes more sense for me to find someone who already markets to those people and market to them. So for me, that would actually be an accountant or a business consultant. So if I reach an accountant or a business consultant, I know that they work with a lot of business owners who need to market their business. That's the first step. The second thing that I do is I go to Google and I outline an entire area all over the state of Maryland, or all over the state of New Hampshire, or all over a particular part of California. And I'm looking and specifically trying to find all of the people who fit that criteria of consultant or accountant, or in the case of my dentists, general dentists, in a specific target market. Once I have that complete and total list, I'm going to actually go and break that area into 4 chunks, 4 individual target markets, 4 smaller subsections. My goal is to create as many lists as possible of 40 of my demographic in one target area. So just to backtrack and just to go backward over what I was saying, the first thing is to figure out, who is my demographic? Who am I trying to reach? The second part of that I want to know about, number 2, is of all of those demographics, I want to take a look at my whole area, my region that I live in, generate a list of all of the people who are in that business in my region, and I want to break that down into lists that are geographically close together, 40 businesses in each area. So the first thing I want to do right now is I want to take a little pause and come back to Sarah and maybe ask Linda a question to see if she was able to understand that. So we're just going to take a little pause. And Diane, I want to welcome you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. I'm so glad to see you here. We've been discussing the meet and greet program. I'm going to come back to it in just a second. Let's see here. Sarah is having a little bit of technical difficulty, so we're trying to get her into the program as well. So I'm just going to pause for a second. And come back. Okay, great. Excellent. What I was discussing is the best way to start the meet and greet program. And Diane, I know you're just joining us, and others, a couple of other folks too are just joining us. Thank you. So good. It's good to see you all this morning. Again, I'm Julia Flynn Werre of Word of Mouth Wired, and I'm a marketing consultant and have been for many, many years, but on my own for 11 years. Step one of the meet and greet program, which is actually what Dennis called the practice representation program, or I call outsourced sales and marketing. Step number one is figuring out your demographic. So if you know that you want to sell to specific business owners in a particular area, you want to focus on really getting your geography down, because what we're going to do when we start the program is go and visit every single one of those people on your list. In order to be effective at doing that, you don't want to be running back and forth all over town. So what you do, you get your entire list from Google of all of the people that you want to focus on, list them out, map them using the Google Maps tool. We can talk about that a little further if you want to. Take those areas, break them down, and try, this is my goal, is to get 40 businesses that I want to focus on in one specific area, so that I'm not running all over town. So I look at my state or my area or my county or my city as a circle, break it into 4 quadrants, try to find 40 in each area. Okay. Once I do that, I know who I'm going to be focusing on. Then I can do a little bit of research on all of those businesses in that particular area. Do they have a website that I can learn more about them? Do they use my competitor? Are they using my product or service currently, or do they need it? Am I new to them? It allows me to learn a lot more. Good morning, Sarah. I'm so glad to see you here. We have quite a few people. Sarah, are you able to talk? Oh, you are? Good. I'm going to take a pause.
I've been running around this hotel like crazy, and I finally can talk to you. I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. That's all good. I'm going to stop what I was saying, because we have a couple of viewers and a couple of participants this morning, and I'm going to introduce my partner, Sarah Coolidge. Sarah, go ahead and tell them a little bit about yourself.
Where should I start? Oh my gosh. Anyway, Julia, you're so wonderful to be so patient with me, and I cannot believe the interesting morning I've had trying to get online in another hotel and another place, and I've been running around with a computer. But anyway, my name is Sarah Coolidge. I'm here in Las Vegas, Henderson, Nevada right now at CEO Space, and trying to figure out how to do a hangout on a phone. I have been working with Julia for a little bit more than a year, and we kind of take care of the whole country. She's on the East Coast, I'm on the West Coast. She's a specialist in marketing and online stuff. I do a lot of things more directly with people, coaching and helping them move forward with their businesses. And we've been doing hangouts together every Monday morning as a Monday momentum to get us all up and running. And this Monday has been a pretty wild one for me, but I am up and running now. I'm so glad to see you. And I see Linda. There's someone else that's purple. I don't know if that's a person or another. There's like this purple splash, but maybe it's the purple people eater who is also watching. Anyways, thank you so much for your patience. I don't want to interrupt you. I know you're with the flow. So you get going, and you know, I'll chime in if you have a question for me. I love what you were talking about. So I could hear you for a while before I could see.
Well, wonderful.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad Linda's here. I'm so glad Diane's here, and that our other viewers who are here. I love being able to see other people popping in. It's extremely exciting. Well, what I was really talking about was the program Meet and Greet that really launched my career, and I was kind of explaining it. When I start to explain how the meet and greet program works, I have to remember that it's very important to have your demographic rock solid and to have your lists rock solid. And that is even before I start talking about the things that we're going to do and the individual pieces of the puzzle. That's the first place I begin. And Sarah, I don't know if I've ever told you this, but the meet and greet program that I say I invented it, I developed it about 12 years ago. I don't know if I ever told you that I've taught that in classes, like live classes, and I've taught it over the internet and things like that, and that it blows my mind because it's very basic information, but it is incredibly intense, and it can be confusing. I don't know if I've ever told you that I've taught it, though. Did I ever mention that to you before?
No, and it sounds like something we ought to be talking a little bit more about, because if it's an effective way for people to connect and grow their businesses, that's what we do here.
Yes, actually, I love this program and I love teaching it. My favorite story about it is that my very first client that I did this for was an endodontist. She did root canals, and she went from 25 referring doctors, and in one calendar year, I got her to 250 referring doctors. So from 25 to 250 was massive growth, and she really exploded and just really has kept that program going and has now established herself as one of the leading root canal specialists in our area, because we just laid a lot of foundational groundwork, and it was very exciting. So I don't know if, I guess I don't talk about that too much, but I am very proud of that. It's not an online program, so a lot of people don't find it as sexy as when I talk about search engine optimization or social media marketing. They want to hear about the sexy stuff. Not so sexy, really effective. But
it's usually sexy. Effectiveness is sexy. Taking a big check to the bank is sexy. Having lots and lots of growth in your business is sexy. Yeah. And I'm thinking I know who is, just starting a little bit of a political career who might need to do some kind of a meet and greet.
Oh, there you go. I understand that grassroots work that you're going to need, or that someone will be needing to do in their area.
Yeah,
well, we're getting down to
I'm here at CEO Space, and just around the corner, everybody's waiting for breakfast to start.
Are you?
I could maybe mute, or you could mute me, because, the phone is
getting a little noise. Yeah, I will go ahead and mute you, and I'd like to do a quick wrap-up before I do that, because it's now 10:25. You all have been great. I talked a little bit about demographics. As the weeks go on, I'm going to share more about meet and greet. But that does bring me to my greater point, which is that Sarah and I have finally really solidified that we're going to be doing our weekly Google Hangout for members only, and that's going to be on Thursdays. And we're going to be setting up a time, sending out an email, and really promoting this. I'm also looking for more people who would like to be guest speakers. So if you have a product or a service that you're passionate about, something that you really believe in, please reach out to me, because I would like to interview you and have you on our show, as would Sarah. We're very excited to get out to the masses and share your information as well. In order to participate in our weekly members-only hangout, very simple process. It's only $37 per month. We're going to be getting into much more intensive conversation. It will also lead us to one-on-one individualized sessions, so that we can really make sure you are up to snuff and know the material that we're trying to go over. Sarah's material is vastly different than mine. My material focuses more on where technology and sales and marketing unite and crisscross, and where we really want to start using tools to elevate your business. And that's where Linda Kay, for instance, comes in. She has some phenomenal tools that allow us to accelerate the speed with which we're earning. So that's the kind of businesses that we're looking to partner with. Sarah, can you, real briefly, because we have about 2.5 minutes left, can you briefly tell us what you're looking for as a participant or as someone to work with?
Well, mostly what I seem to do the best with people is help them get really solid about who they are and what it is they're trying to do. So it's more heart-centered work. It's more opening up the intuitive part of your business, because truly, 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 if you're not in alignment there, you're not going to be able to grow the way you want to grow. And many of us have kind of doubts about that. We believe that we need to do that thing over there or that thing over there. That person has success, so I'll copy them. And really, it's all internal. It's, you know, your own internal guide, and what that is, that needs to be the foundation of your business. So that's where I, you know, really like to work with people. However, all of this technology, all of this marketing, all of this connecting is really, really fun for me. And because of our time together at CEO Space and the people that we've met and the connections we've made, there's plenty of other areas that I feel like I can help people with. So if you have a small business, if you're just getting started and you're trying to figure out how to grow it, I would love to connect with you. And then again, always new ideas, new information. These things is what we want to have on Hangouts, because the whole Hangout technology is pretty new for us as well. And so these are leading edge ideas and leading edge people. And that's, if you want to hang out with that kind of crowd, then you should be hanging out with us.
That's about right. And how can they find you? What is your website?
No, really the best place is my CEO Space website, which is ceospacewest.com. So ceospacewest.com, and we will be able to connect through that and then move forward in any way that we need to.
Awesome. That is exactly what I wanted to hear. So if you would like to connect with Sarah, and it has been life-changing for me, I would not actually be doing these weekly Hangouts if it hadn't been for someone who inspired me so powerfully as she did. I've had tremendous changes and growth in my business and in my personal life, but I was really looking for someone who could help be a catalyst and provide momentum in my business. And I wasn't really focusing on the personal piece, and Sarah really helped me to work on that as a unified project, and I wasn't expecting it, but it worked out great. So ceospacewest.com to reach me so that we can talk about you becoming a guest on our show or a member for our weekly courses. You can go to wordofmouthwired.com and reach out to me. Julia at juliaflynnwerre.com. Wordofmouthwired.com is my website, and there's plenty of links to reach me there. Linda Kay, I want to thank you so much. Diane Williams, I want to thank you so much. Ladies, I look forward to seeing you next week, a week from today, and Sarah will be leading the parade that week. Thank you so much. Have a great week, everyone. Bye-bye.